Hi, Spurling. Thank you so much for coming on and doing a testimonial video. You had such a great testimony last week when we talked. I thought it would be amazing to share this with other ValAsta users or people having nerve issues, nerve pain that are thinking about starting on ValAsta. Do you mind just sharing your story with us?
No problem at all, Michelle, and thank you for having me. It's been a joy to be utilizing the astaxanthin, and it's been great for me. So I love to share because there's many people out there probably going through the same type of pains that I was going through and just could not, just did not have the right source. So I'd love to. And so I'll tell you what, I'll just begin with my story. I'm an ex-athlete, played college football, and during my days of playing college football, I had a lot of growing pains. And when having those growing pains, back in my day, because I'm 57 years old, so back in my day, we didn't stop. We just simply got ace bandaged up and just went right back into the game. Well, that caused a lot of growing pulls for me, but it did not start to, I guess, I got developing. I started in golf when I was about 39 years old, and I started to find that I was starting to have pains that would start above my knee and radiate up into my groin.
Mm.
And it got so severe. It was like I describe it as a level 9 toothache in my groin after it would go up. It got so severe that for 8 years, I could not stand for more than 1 to 3 minutes. And I went through, praise God that we have resources where we can go all around the world to try to find out what was wrong with me. And I did exactly that. I think I mentioned to you, I went through 38 doctors totally. I had physical therapy, I had acupuncture, I had dry needling, I had where they stretched me apart. I had we didn't know what was wrong with me, to be honest with you. The diagnosing was the big issue. We actually I went through a scoliosis clinic, even though I don't have scoliosis, because we didn't know if it was coming from the back. I took so many injections in my back that they said we can't continue to do this. You can only have 12 a year. The epidural injections, cortisone, everything, nothing was working. So finally, I went through my first surgery here at Duke University, and they did the hip. They thought that was the issue. They did hip surgery. 10 months of rehab, even got me back up to, and I understand I was about 52, 53 at the time, deadlifting like 500 pounds. And they were so excited. Wow, you're just so strong. But I still have the issue where, okay, I don't care to be deadlifting 500 pounds. I want to stand up. And I
Right.
still could not, I couldn't stand for 1 to 3 minutes. Even after surgery, I was on crutches for about first 9 weeks and then another 3 weeks because I couldn't do anything. I'm still traveling around the world. I had to sit on a chair everywhere I went, be in either spot places where I could sit or something because I could not stand. Could drive only up to 10 to 20 minutes. And then my wife would have to drive or something like that. I'm an avid golfer, so I still continue to try to play golf, but they allowed me to use a chair because I can hit the ball and sit back down. I'd be okay.
Mm.
Well, that surgery did not work, so that was in 2015. We come back in 2019, and we discovered I went through a young lady. I had 18 months of trigger point therapy. But then we found a gentleman in California, and I had to go to see the sauna. I had to stay there a couple of weeks, and he found out that I had a pinched nerve. It was entrapped nerve. 8 doctors turned me down, said we can't do that work. It was too close to where I would be paralyzed and things of that nature. Even Duke University could not do the work on me because I live here in North Carolina. I wound up flying up. When I had the surgery, at that point, initially I was in a wheelchair, and then I was on a 4-prong cane walker. I was down for I was down for about 6 to 8 months before I could start seeing some differences. And then I gained a little standing time up to maybe 8 to 20 minutes. And 8 to 20 minutes was like just incredible for me. But I could not stop the inflammation. No matter what I did, I tried to play golf again. I took my time getting back out there. Or if I stand a little bit too long, or I drive a little bit too long, that pain would come back. It was the same. It was not as deep because he had done the work, but the nerve was still being exposed. And we're trying to get the nerve right now. Just couldn't. Well, my wife, incredible woman. I mean, she is so diligent in trying to make sure that I could have a real life again. Because I had gotten to the point I couldn't play with the grandkids. I couldn't walk. We were big walkers. I couldn't walk with her, anything.
Mm.
And she had been seeing the information about the astaxanthin. So she had gotten it, and we were so excited about it. We heard all the testimonies, and God, we were so excited. Maybe this is it. Well, I take the astaxanthin, and I initially took it, and I think I went about maybe 7 to 10 days on the astaxanthin. Being a former athlete, you really know your body, and you know when something is not right. So when I was taking it, it was causing me abdominal pains. The abdominal pains were kind of sharp, as if it was like this cutting in the stomach. It was very, very intense. I took it for about, and I got a very high pain tolerance. I took that for at least a good week or two, and about a week, and I was saying, this is just not right. And so I said, I'm done with it. My wife was disappointed, but I said, this is just not working for me. So we let it go, and I started to try to still have an active life as best that I could. But it got to the point I tried to play in golf tournaments. I couldn't drive. It was still frustrating. Understanding that the surgery had worked because it had got me at least 8 to 20 minutes, which was better than I had. So I didn't want to live with the 8 to 20 minutes.
Right.
But it appeared to be that way. But it started to get more and more exhausting. I had an event. I stood up too long. I couldn't sit down, and I had to stand, and I got so bad off. I actually had to start back taking ice baths to try to get the inflammation down. In the dead of winter, you're trying to take these ice baths, everything like that. Yeah, nothing's working. I'm in events. I'm trying to play golf, and this is silly, but I actually took a 2-day event, and I took 20 ibuprofen in 2 days to try to just get this pain down, and I still couldn't. So finally, you get to that point of just total exhaustion. My wife, again, she says, everybody's doing so well with this. She said, we seen a little dog was eating it with some peanut butter on it, and say they gave it to the dog with the peanut butter. He's so much better. I just wish this would work for you. I said, well, hey, let's just give it a shot again. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm about 6'2", about 260 pounds. And so we were actually doing exactly about the normal what I should have. But I haven't had any alcohol, and I'm not on, at the time I was on no medication at all. Only medication I would have would be the pain medicine from surgery. Other than that, I wasn't even taking pain medicine for the problem because I just don't like taking medicine. And so I was not on any medication. And then I wound up going back to astaxanthin. And we go back to it. And this time we lessened the dosage just to see if I could just kind of get started with it. And we actually didn't start with maybe 2 capsules. And it started to build a little bit. Then we went up to 3 to see if that would work, if I could still take 3. Okay. And we were doing it a week at a time. By the time I got into the 3rd week, I was taking 3 to 4 capsules. And I was actually starting to feel pretty good. But again, 8 years, 38 doctors, can't stand for 1 to 3 minutes. And I'm in a situation where I'm optimistic, but I'm guardedly optimistic that all this time, how can this be working? This just can't be possible. But I'm praying every day, and I want this to work. So I wound up, I said, okay, well, my wife she just on it. Is it working? Is it working? Is it working? And I'm very guarded. So we had an event where I had to fly to a Hall of Fame induction, and so we had to fly, and we know normally I have to take my chair in the airport. If we drive, she has to drive. And I was very nervous that I was have to be on stage for 20 minutes because I didn't know if I could stand. Right. But I'd gone through the airport. I'd stood in the airport, nothing. I mean, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm like, but I'm still like, this can't, I mean, is this really working? Because I've had so many letdowns. We're talking 38 doctors. 38 doctors. I had doctors from Harvard tell me that they wanted to put a machine in my back and then connect it to the nerve to make it stop. And I had to wear this machine for the rest of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I've had doctors to say, one doctor looked at me, he said, listen, I'm gonna be real honest with you. We can cut your back, but you may still have the problem. He say, and really, we can't do anything for you. I said, wait, at the time I said, I'm 52 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to tell me that I don't want not on any medication, that you can't do anything for me? He said, we can't do anything for you. And it got so sad. Then they gave me this pamphlet, and this was the most ridiculous pamphlet. My wife and I talked about it, that pretty much was saying your pain is in your mind.
Oh, wow.
That you may, I mean, this can't be real, because everybody wanted me to have sciatica when my pain was going down. Everybody's saying your pain is going down. It is not going down. I'm a former athlete. You know, I mean, you know your body. So exactly. I knew one thing I can tell you, I don't care what you guys say, I know that my pain is coming up every time. But they're trying to put me in a category that I couldn't go. So I'm just so guarded about, can this work? I've seen every YouTube video. I've seen I mean, I cannot tell you how much I've tried to find some way to get out of this pain. Okay. So finally, they called me up. I'm up there on the stage, and I'm not feeling any pain. I'm on the stage for about 30 minutes, and I'm not feeling any pain. I come off the stage, and all of the guys, and we talk, we stand around, everything like this, and I'm not in any pain. Now I can go ahead and tell my wife, hey, this is working. Then we fly back home. I'm feeling so good. Hey, let me just drive. You know what I'm saying? I'll just drive. And that's been. I went to the ceremony back. I think ceremony was April or May. Mm-hmm. Now we're sitting in November, and I have not had an episode at all. I don't even look to see if the pain is coming. Normally, when I woke up every morning, I would just wait. I knew it was going to be there. Yeah. I don't even look to see. My wife, I got a little video of her. She's talking. You can hear her talking. She's tearing up, and she's videoing me. I'm walking on the golf course, pulling my golf cart. I hadn't done that in about 10 years.
Wow.
I walked 9 holes of golf. Mm-hmm. Now I've just 2 weeks ago, I've elevated to the point I've walked a full golf course, no pain, no thoughts, drove another 4.5 hours and played another tournament. I finished second in that one. But normally finished number 1, but I did that time. But I drove 4.5 hours to a tournament and still was able to play. Played a 2-day event, come home and have a great night with my wife, and still was okay. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. What a frustrating journey, a long journey you've had. And I'm so glad that you gave ValAsta another chance and just knew to just decrease the amount and kind of build up on your own. And I'm so glad I reached out to kind of check on you guys and see how you're doing, because I uncovered the most amazing testimony. And I'm so glad you got your quality of life back. And tell us where you're going this week with your grandchildren.
Yes, indeed. We're headed to Disney World. Yeah, we're headed to Disney World. Well, 3-4 months ago, we went to Disneyland. Okay. And we were guarded. And we were guarded, just my wife and I. We were guarded. And we were just like, wow, I don't have to sit. And we walked the entire time.
That's amazing.
It's been a true blessing.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I go to some of the golfing events, and these guys remember when I would actually just have to have a chair to sit down, and some of these guys see me and they say, what are you doing? What happened? And I send them all the information I can on it. I've talked to people that have gone through just everything, anything that they can tell me they got. I tell them, look, just try this. I don't know if it worked for everybody, but God knows it has been a blessing for me.
Yeah, and they see it. Yeah, they're seeing your before and after. Yep, and that's how we grow, is by word of mouth, which is the best way to grow. Because I hear that all the time through the third party when I talk to people on the phone. My neighbor is better; they're in remission, or they're now walking where they weren't. So thank you for sharing about ValAsta to others. We really appreciate that. And thank you for your time today to do this testimonial. We really appreciate it.
Well, I just want to say, everybody out there, listen, I'm not a paid speaker, and y'all probably figure I'm about worth every cent of what I'm saying. I get 0 for it. But I'm just saying to you this. I don't know who you are. I have no earthly idea who you are. But it has been an absolute blessing for me. And I would say try it.
Yeah. There's nothing to lose, right? Just to get on it and try it. And then if you have
Amen.
the stomach pain, decrease the amount, increase your water, because there is a clean out phase where ValAsta wants to clean out your colon and you need water for that process to happen. I don't know if that was in your case, because it does sound like you were drinking plenty of water. I think it was just too high of a dose too soon. And for some people, we
Yes.
just need to back off on the amount and then build back up slower, which everybody's a little bit different. But thank you
I
for
think, Michelle,
sharing.
sometimes it could be the excitement of you want to be out of pain so badly that you just, I mean, you put way too much in there. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
And you're very welcome.
Thanks. Have a great day. Have a great trip in Disneyland.
Thanks about you.
Bye.
Have an awesome day. Bye bye.